Welcome back, everyone. The downgrade of the U.S. credit rating created a domino effect in the world financial markets Monday. But before the markets took a tumble, both political parties in Washington were already pointing the finger, blaming each other for the S&P downgrade. So, who do you think is to blame? Joining me now to debate are two congressmen and members of the House Budget Committee. In New York, Democratic Congressman Tonko, and in New Hampshire, Republican Congressman Frank Ginta. Good morning to both of you.
It's great to be with you.
Good morning, Gretchen.
All right. Congressman Tonko, are you going to say the same thing that David Axelrod and other Democrats said on the Sunday talk shows, that it was better known as a Tea Party downgrade?
Look, I think a blame game doesn't help anyone here right now. I think what the country needs is certainty. I think the certainty that we can provide comes with a response that is sound, that speaks to a jobs crisis that has loomed large and heavy for a long time, as opposed to a manufactured crisis that was an overnight crisis on the default that really didn't get to the jobs creation issue that I think will provide to you in the market and provide protection for all of the income strata of this country, including our middle class that has been taking it on the chin.
So you're not blaming the Tea Party for the downgrade?
I think that some of the extreme thinking of cuts for the sake of cutting was not helpful. We don't need a cleaver approach. We need a scalpel approach where we cut where we can and invest where we must.
Let's listen to David Axelrod, and then I want to get Congressman Ginta's response to that. Let's listen.
The fact of the matter is that this is essentially a Tea Party downgrade. The Tea Party brought us to the brink of a default. That clearly is on the backs of those who were willing to see the country default. Those very strident voices in the Tea Party.
So, Congressman Ginta, was David Axelrod talking about the Tea Party's entire motivation, which is to cut spending, that caused the downgrade, or the Tea Party's sort of gridlock in government? At least some people see it that way.
Well, David's job is to politicize a very serious and important debate. This is not a manufactured crisis. $14.3 trillion in debt is real. The Tea Party, like many Americans, want the truth. They deserve to know the truth. They want facts. And they want us to cut the spending that President Obama started 2.5 years ago. Our spending has gone up 86% in 2.5 years. That's real. That's got to be curbed. We've got to change the trajectory of spending. That means entitlement reform. That means tax reform. And that means getting serious about getting to a balanced budget.
Congressman Tonko, do you hold out much hope for this super committee that's about to be announced next week? Do you think that they can actually come to an agreement for $1.5 trillion in cuts?
I think we're absolutely charged with that responsibility. We have to, again, provide for that certainty. You know, I'm concerned because we need to go forward and invest in job creation. You know, I am the first to suggest we can belt where it's possible. We also need to invest. It has to be, I think, two trains coming down the track. We do this long-term plan to resolve our deficit situation, but we must invest in infrastructure, innovation, and education. We need to create those jobs out there. When you have 14 million unemployed, that will stabilize our economy.
We did that with the stimulus package, didn't we? We did that with the stimulus package, which most people thought did not really work. And I'm wondering if you do it in that way, is it just a wash as far as getting rid of a lot of the spending?
Gretchen, there are those in Congress who feel that we didn't have enough stimulus, enough $800 billion government spending. That public policy did not work. Most Americans believe it didn't work. That's what contributed to the 86% increase in spending. We've got to reform our spending. We've got to control our spending. And we have to have a balanced budget amendment moving forward. That's the only way to control Republicans and Democrats in Washington. Washington is the problem. It doesn't create jobs. The job sector, the job creators are the individuals that I put my faith in to create jobs. But we've got to give them certainty and predictability. You do that by reforming entitlements, reforming the tax code, and getting serious about debt and deficit reduction.
All right, different ideologies, they're all going to come together at the table for this super committee. We'll see how that all pans out. Congressman Tonko and Ginta, thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you, Gretchen.
Thank you, Gretchen.